Hello and welcome to this video on adding a Google review service to your website. So it has all of our sections, it has all of the reference. It looks professional, it looks stunning. You will obviously be able to replace these with your own images. We have these Skool sections with cards, with plans, with pricing, with literally everything you would need from a website, right? Including a contact form that submits to our N8N instance, and then we can build automations and agents on top of that. What's more, we added a chatbot in here as well to handle queries around timings, contact information, pricing, and so much more. And now that we've built so many aspects that every business needs, right? We're now going to look at the last piece is how do we add an effective Google reviews feature to our website? And what that means is I've seen people sell services like this for $300 and $500 a month, and I never completely understood why. And mainly, this feature works because it prevents negative reviews from ever reaching a business's page. And especially if you're a local business, and trust me, I come from a local business background because my dad runs a local pharmacy back home. So, in any local service based business, Google reviews are like the life and death of that business, right? So, you want to have better Google reviews, and you, as far as possible, want to prevent negative reviews from ever making it to Google. So, how do you do that in a way that's win win for both you and the customer? And the solution to that is actually stupidly simple. So, what we're going to do is on our website, we're going to build a simple reviews page. So, on this reviews page, we're going to give our client an offer, something like get 10% off on this order or the next order, whatever that may be. So we may give the client an offer to save some money or get some bonus gift or whatever that is. So we use that as a headline on our page. And then we ask them to basically fill out a review. Now, not fill out a review form as they typically would, because we don't want them going to Google directly. So what we would do is we would send them to this page, show them the 5 stars, right? And just give them the look and feel like they are rating our business. Now, if they were to click 5 stars or 4 stars, we would then send them to the actual Google review page where they can leave a Google review. But if they were to click 3, 2, or 1, we wouldn't send them to the Google page. We would send them to a custom form similar to our contact form so that they can tell us what their grievance was. And we, as the business owner, can reach out to them, help fix it as best we can. And ideally, I believe this is the best thing to do is to actually proactively get customer feedback, especially if they've had a negative experience, and try and fix it well in advance. So you fix it, and therefore both of you leave happy, and you've learned from this customer interaction what not to do in the future. So if you're a 9 to 5 employee and you currently feel overwhelmed with AI, on one hand, you're scared that it might take your job, but on the other hand, you're excited about the fact that it could help you work less and finally start something of your own, then I'd like to give you a free gift, which is this 100 AI scaling roadmap, which is based on 200 hours of me looking over all the businesses that I've helped implement AI and automations for across civil engineering, e-commerce, law firms, and so many more. And so what I did was I broke this down into 10 stages that take you from complete beginner and someone who's never even used ChatGPT before to top 1%, where you know how to build any automation and any agent, whether that's for yourself, your company, or your business. And so I made this kind of quiz thing on the website. You can go to it at the100ai.com/roadmap. It's completely free. And if you put in your information there, it will tell you which stage you're at, what you're currently struggling with, and what you need to graduate to the next level. You can check out the link, it will be in the description, or you can just go to the100ai.com/roadmap. You get this customer's contact information along with the message and the feedback they had, why they had a bad review. And basically, this bad review sits within your own system and never makes it to your Google page as far as possible. So, that's going to be the topic of this video. I'm going to show you how to build it out completely using AI and Claude Code. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so just to show you a quick demo of this was the demo pharmacy app that I had built for my dad and our local pharmacy business. So this was all done using AI and Claude Code, right? But the purpose of this is to mainly show you the review feature that I was talking about. And that is basically if we send people using a QR code or a link to this review page, it would show them an offer like this. It's really simple. It just save 10% on your bill. Leave us a quick review. Now, if they were to enter 5 stars, it for their name, phone number, and email. This is a completely optional step, but I've included it so that we can build an email list and build a customer database. But if you didn't want to include this, you could basically emulate the same behavior, that after they click the 5 star, it would just take them to a new page, which is something like this, wherein I've implemented a timer. But again, you can do it without the timer as well. And it will basically take you to the Google Maps review page. And it will open up the pop up form wherein you can enter a custom review and your feedback. Right. So now, what does this actually achieve for the business? What it does, and it will bring you to this pop up page where you can enter a rating and the reviews or feedback for the business. Right now, what does this actually do? Now, what does this actually do is when people are on this review page, right? If they enter 5 stars or 4 stars, and you can adjust this programmatically in code, you can tell Claude that I only wanted to work for only 5 star reviews or 5 star and 4 star, whatever you're comfortable with. But basically, what it does is if someone clicks on 4 stars or 5 stars, it takes them to the Google page and they basically had an overall positive experience, which is great. You get a Google review and the customers had a great experience. But what happens if the customer had a bad experience, that they wanted to enter 3 star, 2 star, 1 star review? Now, usually that would make it to the business's Google page, right? And all businesses want to prevent negative reviews from reaching their page. And some of them are actually genuine enough about it that they would love to be able to solve any bad review before. And some of them are actually genuine about it where they would love to solve like a customer's bad review in some way possible, right? Every business makes mistakes and they would like the chance to fix it. So rather than rather than letting this reach your Google page, impact it. So rather than letting this negative review reach the business's Google page and impact their rating, what they can do is on this 1 star, 2 star, or 3 star click, it takes them to a contact form where you would enter your name, phone number, email, and what they could have done better. Right. And so when you submit this form, it's just going to be logged separately. Now, in our example with what we were building in our application, so if we just come back into our application, which was our demo website, if I just visit the domain, what you remember we had set up is this contact form, right? And this was sending data to N8N webhook. So what we might do is we may get this form to be replicated, send data to the same webhook URL, and basically allow customers that had a bad experience to be dealt with, like by filling out that contact form and the business owner reaching out. That's for simplicity. You can obviously change this out, but the main takeaway here is how do you build on like this Google reviews feature that can help a business grow and helps it that can help a business grow and helps it get more Google reviews, more positive Google reviews, while also giving them the opportunity to fix negative reviews well in advance of them actually making it to their Google page. And therefore, both the customer and the business owner are happy. So, how are we going to do that in Claude Code? We're just going to say, hey, Claude, can you a slash review route? And basically, what that means is if someone went to our home URL, right, we would obviously change this with our own domain name. But if someone went to a page like slash review, this is basically a new route. At the moment, we don't have a review page, so it shows us this 404, like the page was not found. But otherwise, we want people who go to slash review page to basically see this new page that we're building, right? So can you build a slash review route that customers would go to leave a review or feedback for the business. So that's step one, right? Now, on this page, we want to show them a simple offer using a headline and headline, which says something like get 10% off on your bill, or whatever the offer may be, right? You can get creative here and give away stuff that your customers may want. So here's where you make the offer appealing to them, that they actually take the time to fill out the review, not just on this page, but whether that's a Google review or your contact form, so that you have more data to help you grow as a business. So we're going to use a headline and sub headline. Then below that, we want to have a 5-star interface. Now, if a clicks on 4 or 5 stars, they should be taken to a Google review page that looks something like this. And I've just pasted in what that review page could look like. Basically, each business has its own unique Google Place ID, and you can get this from the Google My Business page. Once you have this URL, that's where they would be taken to if they had a positive experience. If they clicked 3 stars or lower, we would like them to see a new version of the same contact form that we have on homepage, that also submits to the same webhook URL. Please keep the UI of this page simple, minimal, and elegant. Please stay on brand with the rest of styles and use the best in class, professional, modern, and stunning UI UX. So we're going to give Claude this prompt. We're going to come back and check out the website and see if it's made the changes that we've asked it for, and then take it from there. Okay, so Claude has finished running everything that we gave it. We will now come and check out what it has come up with. So now, instead of index.html, we're going to go to review.html, and you can see it has this stupidly simple interface. I love it. It still looks stylish and on brand. So now we're going to check out both examples. So if someone enters a 5-star review, it gives us this message. It says, "You're amazing, thank you. We're thrilled you had a great experience. Sharing that on Google helps, and you get 10% off your next visit." And if someone clicks on this button, it will open up the Google review page. So it's just loading without the users having to click on an additional button. So we'll give Claude that feedback, but we'll just check the link that it's opened. So it's opened this link, it's shown a review. You would add the 5 stars and you would type in the message. And once that is done, like basically the customer has left a positive review on your page, which helps grow the business. Great. Now, what if we wanted to check the example where it was 4 stars? It also gives us the same thing, which is what we expect. And the prompt we gave Claude, that if it's 5 stars or 4 stars, show the success message and the option to leave a Google review. Now, what happens if it's 3 stars? It shows us this contact form, which also looks fantastic. And I presume that if we fill out this form, it will fire to N8N webhook, which we will check now. And just for the sake of completeness, we will verify 2 stars shows the same. It does, and 1 star shows the same as well. So right now we're just going to test out our N8N webhook. We're just going to give our email, 8n@badreview.com. I wish I had more attention and feedback during my PT session. So just say something like that. We're going to click send feedback, see if this gets logged in N8N. Now, the N8N automation we built was the simple webhook with this email note, which was basically sending it to me, myself, as the business owner, saying you have a new website inquiry. We could change this slightly and duplicate this node. Actually, let's do that now. Copy this node, paste it in here. We're going to change this to, instead of demo website, I'm just going to make this feedback. We're going to copy this URL. We're going to tell Claude, can you please update the review form webhook URL to use this value instead? So earlier we were using the demo website webhook for the contact form, which we could actually name as slash contact. We will do that next time. So now we are just going to make this change for the review.html. You can see it's gone ahead and done that. So instead of demo website, it's now going to use the feedback URL. Message, we are just going to copy this node across, connect it in here, and now instead of new website inquiry, you can say new negative feedback. So here's a new website feedback form from a potential negative review. And so it's going to have name, first name, email. I don't think we have program in our form, right? So we have first name, last name, email, and what we can improve. So what we can improve is not going to be here. We will just check if it is being sent as a message field. So in our review.html, you don't need to know how to code. You could just ask Claude. And I think for the sake of simplicity, let's just do it that way rather than me checking in Claude. Is, can you tell me what JSON post request to the slash feedback webhook looks like? And if we hit enter, you can see we have a source rating, a first name, last name, email, and message. So what we might want to include is the rating in here. So we'll include a rating field, and instead of json.body.email, we'll do json.body.rating, because the rating is the key here. The value we'll see is 2. First name, last name, email, and message stays the same. So message, we could include the source that it's coming from, but it's always going to be a review page, so that's okay. So we are now going to save this. Again, similarly, we might include a second Gmail node to notify the customer as well, saying we've received your feedback and someone from our team is on it. But my main job here is to just show you how you would connect this data to N8N. The automations or agents you build on top of this is completely up to you and your creativity. So we're just going to publish these changes now. And once that is done, we are going to go to our website. We are going to hit send feedback, and you can see that there's this message received. So it says, thank you for taking the time. One of our coaches will follow up with you personally, and your 10% discount will be waiting. Okay, so now if I come into N8N and I just check my executions tab to see the most recent execution, which was this. So you can see the rating, the first name, last name, email, and message. So this was the data webhook received, and this is what was sent in our email node. And just to verify that in Gmail, this is the new negative feedback that we received. That was the subject line we had set in here in our Gmail node. So it says, hey, Adrian, you have a new website feedback form from a potential negative review. It shows the name, the email, the rating, and the message. So this is how we can get and log customer information. Like we could reach out to this customer before they ever left a Google review, like a negative Google review that could hurt our business. Every business has bad days, and it's part and parcel of running a business. For the most part, you want to do your best, and on your bad days you wish things like this didn't happen and make it to your Google reviews page, right? So this is in So this is an extremely valuable service that you can actually pitch to businesses, and it's one I know people sell for anywhere between 100 to 300 and $500 for, based on the level of service and what other additional services you might be providing to local businesses. But the key takeaway, like I always like to focus on the skills more than the money you might make. And what are the key skills you've learned in this entire process, right? You've learned to build a complete website using just AI and a couple of prompts, which I think is fantastic. That you don't need all these fancy editors, fancy designers, fancy coding skills, or anything like that, right? You can get stunning landing pages up and running in no time. Now, that's the first thing. You also learned to build, host, and deploy your own websites. So that takes away the next problem. And you learned to do it for free, especially when you're starting out. Most of these are free services, like using GitHub and Vercel, which is completely free. As your application grows and scales, you may need to get a paid plan, which is just $20 a month. But the key takeaway is you learned to build and deploy these quickly. You can now start practicing these, doing these for friends, for family, for co-workers, colleagues, literally anyone, just to get better at this skill, right? It may not be perfect the first time, but you learn it like any muscle, and any training you would do, you get better at it with time. But like AI does most of the getting better for you, so you just have to prompt it in the right direction, give better prompts, and be patient with it to give it the right kind of feedback. And once we did that, once we deployed it, we learned how to also add a chatbot to our website for faster customer responses, especially around most common customer questions, which everyone has: timings, payment options, products, services, and stuff like that. Chatbots are absolutely fantastic for that. And you can always pick up the conversation with the human touch via email or phone call whenever your business opens the next day, or as soon as you are available. And on top of building this entire ecosystem out, which is fantastic, especially for local businesses, we added like the icing on the cake of this Google reviews feature and system that you can now use to help local businesses make sure that they do their best and prevent negative Google reviews from ever making it to their page. Yes, there may be some that still do, like if a customer's really determined, they can still go to their Google page and leave a negative review. But this is where like having mechanisms like this allow the business owner an opportunity to fix it as well, which I think is a win-win for both.